Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Owen. I'm a retired Chief Operating Officer of the American Bankers Association. I've worked in and around the Washington, D.C. area for at least the last 40 years. Welcome. I'm looking forward to hearing from you.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is JC Polanco. I'm an attorney in New York City and I teach at CUNY. I live in the Bronx and I'm very excited to be back for another year of listening to some wonderful presentations.
So I'm Ellen Iwamoto. I'm the Director of Civics Programs at the Annenberg Public Policy Center at the University of Pennsylvania, coming to you from Philadelphia. And now students, if you could introduce yourselves and your teacher, please.
Hello, we are Team Hamilton. We represent Mr. Bannister's 7th period class. I am Luke Tremblay, and a fun fact about Alexander Hamilton is his favorite dessert was ice cream.
My name is Gavin Lofgren. Another fun fact about Alexander Hamilton, he was the first Secretary of the United States of America, Secretary of Treasury of the United States of America, and is still considered to have been the best Secretary of Treasury to date.
Fun fact, Gavin, you are lagging a little bit, so why don't you go ahead and try turning your video off for now, and we'll see if that helps resolve the issue. Thanks, Gavin.
Hello, my name is Michael Lisov, and one other fact about Alexander Hamilton was he was not allowed to go to school because his parents were never married.
Oh.
And your teacher, would you like to introduce your teacher? Nope. I'll say hi, Mr. Bannister.
Mr. Bannister is the 8th grade history teacher at our school.
Okay, oh great. So I'm going to read the question and then you will have the floor. So Unit 6, what are the responsibilities of citizens? According to the American Immigration Council, immigration law in the United States has been built upon the following principles: the reunification of families, admitting immigrants with skills that are valuable to the U.S. economy, protecting refugees, and promoting diversity. Does today's immigration policy reflect these principles? Why or why not? And addressing these questions, what are the major cultural and political issues regarding immigration that face America today? What changes, if any, should be made to our current immigration policy? Should the United States admit more refugees in view of the worldwide crisis of displaced persons? Why or why not? And you may begin.
America is a nation based on immigration. Our initial cities and infrastructure was built on the backs of the Irish, Blacks, Hispanic, and Asians as they came to America for a better life, a chance to participate in the democratic process, and an opportunity to enrich their communal spirit.
Immigrants have different beliefs, which can lead to discrimination and prejudice. This often leads various ethnic groups to separate and live amongst themselves.
Illegal immigration has been a bone of contention since our beginning, and policy has continued to evolve. The Trump administration doubled down on a policy that has created a strong sense of resentment and pushback.
In June of 2018, there were instances of separation of families. An example would be when the federal court issued a preliminary ruling that separated thousands of migrant children and their parents at the border. Voices of reason screamed, "This is an unconstitutional act, violating due process rights of the 5th and 14th Amendment."
An example of this involves the attack of Pearl Harbor. After the attack, President Roosevelt issued Executive Order 9066. Japanese aliens and Americans of Japanese descent were extremely discriminated against just for being the same race of the terrorists. Another example of this is 9/11. Muslims were discriminated against after the 9/11 attacks, again, just for being Muslim.
Trump's immigration policies were strict.
Sounds like Gavin is frozen.
Whatever they want in the United States without having any sort of citizenship.
The immigration laws that go with Donald Trump are that he wanted to create a wall that separates the United States from Mexico. He wanted to continue this in a second term, primarily to restrict immigration and to end human trafficking.
Due to COVID-19, Donald Trump has tightened down on legal immigration and limiting the distribution of visas, arguing that this will help with America's employment. Joe Biden opposes Trump's immigration plan and wants to end the construction of the wall. Trump's cap for the number of refugees is 18,000, and Biden wants to increase this to 125,000 starting in October.
There are many other examples of immigration policies. 3 examples include the 1864 Immigration Act, the 1942 Bracero Agreement, and the 1980 Refugee Act.
Obvious change would be to allow families to stay together and businesses to get the workers they need, establishing a humane asylum and refugee system that honors the nation's historic commitment to be a place of safe haven.
Commit to proportionality, accountability, and due process in immigration enforcement. This would do away with the current one-size-fits-all approach and create a path to citizenship for undocumented immigrants and other individuals long residing in the country.
Let's look at the current policy of what it takes to become an American citizen. First, an immigrant must be a U.S. resident for 5 years. Then, to become a naturalized U.S. citizen, you must take and pass 2 tests, the English language proficiency test and the basic knowledge exam on American history and culture. We agree that the time period should be shorter, yet the test requirements are adequate.
The Immigration and Nationality Act allows the United States to grant up to 675,000 permanent immigrant visas each year. The United States also admits a variety of non-citizens on a temporary yearly basis.
Refugees leave because they have had their natural rights taken away. According to John Locke, everyone has the right and deserves an education, healthcare, basically to be a productive citizen in a global society.
And in the spirit of immigration, this concludes our presentation.
Thank you.
Right on time. Great. Okay, thank you very much. We're going to have some follow-up questions from the judges now, and I'll start off. And this is a little bit off from what you've been talking about, which are federal policies, what the federal government's actions have been regarding immigration. So just going to ask you, what do you think about state governments? Should they be able to regulate immigration?
It could like kind of determine.
I believe that immigration it's a national level thing, something that the federal government should control. Should the state governments have a say? Yes, but I believe the national government should be the final say in immigration policy.
Plus maybe 2 maybe 2 states that are, say, border states from like a different country may have different beliefs. So one might say, yeah, we should allow more to come in, while the other should say, could possibly say, no, let's not, because that would say whatever reason that they could explain about.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, thank you.
So I'd like to follow up on, you mentioned the wall. Should we build that wall to help stop the flow of immigration? Why or why not? Can you give me some commentary on your thoughts there?
I think the wall should be continued to. I think the wall should continue its construction to help stop the, like you said, at least help with immigration. It wouldn't entirely stop it, but it would at least help. And yeah.
Okay. Others?
Thank you. I have a question regarding those children that are brought here by their parents as minors, and they had no idea they were here breaking the law or coming in here illegally. What should we do about those? Should they be able to stay? Should they be deported like everyone else? What do you say?
what is it? They should probably be deported back to where they were with their children and parents, because it's not right to keep them separate. Like, say children, say for example, Mexican children, if they're kept on the American side in these camps, and the parents are kept on the Mexican side for because they're not legally allowed to go there, they should be all kept together, stay in Mexico or say other immigrant countries, and they should all legally find a way in order to become an American citizen and then be able to come into America as a legal citizen.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Do you think that we should encourage new immigrants to become citizens of the United States? And why or why not?
I believe we should not exactly, well, I guess it is kind of pick and choosing, but like encourage the immigrants who actually might have the capability to help our nation to become legal citizens of the United States, rather than just someone who's just living on the street skillless. And it would also, and at least limiting the amount of encouragement would also at least slightly help with population control.
Anybody else?
As immigrants begin to be more a part of our society, new immigrants, whose role is it to help them assimilate? By that I mean find jobs, housing, healthcare. Have you thought that through? Any thoughts there?
That would be the role of the other American citizens, not only those that were born American citizens, but other immigrants that have naturalized into the society.
So the role of their cohort group.
Yes.
Any other thoughts there from anybody else?
It's kind of like our responsibility to show immigrants how we do things and how to do the right things and what not to do when they're wrong, and to show them how to live a good life in the U.S.
Okay.
I believe the job applies to any legal citizen of the United States, and even the people who are higher up, like government officials. Everyone should at least help encourage them to do the right thing in the United States, whether you're a citizen, whether you're another immigrant, whether you're a government official. I believe everyone should help encourage them to do the right thing.
Great, thank you. We have a minute left. JC, anybody?
No, I don't have any other questions.
I don't have any other questions either. So thank you for your presentation. Obviously, you've spent a lot of time preparing and supporting your arguments with historic examples and constitutional examples, and we appreciate your responses to the questions. I know it's not easy to be able to think on your feet quick, but thank you very much for a very good job, and good luck with the Invitational.
You did a great job. Thank you so much for bringing in all of these different ideas, and it was good to hear some diversity in the opinions on immigration in this group. I'm very happy to see some today.
Yeah, there was a good historical perspective here. I appreciate that very much. I think you all worked well together, and you clearly studied hard on this, and your presentation I thought was very interesting, and I'm so glad we had a chance to spend some time together. Thank you and good luck to you.